No, my friend, no matter what age you are, this video is valuable to all of us. Trust me, watch it to the end and you're going to benefit a lot. You'll thank me later.
I asked a woman one time at a dinner, I said, I see you have this very expensive Chanel bag. And she said, yes. And I said, and what do you do? She says, well, I work for Saks and I sell things and I get a little discount on it. And I said, just out of curiosity, I'm going to ask you some really uncomfortable questions, if you don't mind. How much does the bag cost? And she said, so many thousands of dollars. I said, and if you were to take all the money you've ever made in your entire life, how much do you think that is? And she calculated that about $1.3 million in her whole life. Uh-huh. She was 42. And I said, and out of all that, your net worth of that right now, what exactly is it? She says, well, I have about $800 to my name, everything. I said, so you've saved or invested $800 out of 1.3. So I calculated the percentage of that. And then I took that percentage and I said, now you took and bought a $5,000 bag. And on the percentage of that means you had to have earned a lot of money in order to have that bag based on the way you manage money. Indeed. Your hierarchy of values dictates how you manage money.
Yeah.
And then I said, and the investment, if you were to allow that to compound and grow, that would have bought you a bunch of bags in the future. And I just really, really made her uncomfortable making her look at that.
Yeah.
The following day, she decided that she was going to start prioritizing her purchases and start putting a little bit of money into investments and have it work for her. So she's not the slave of money, she's the master of money, and then allow her money to make them to purchases as she goes along. So she had a real realization. And about 3 years later, she asked if she could take me to dinner again. And she says, I'm now, my immediate gratifications have calmed down. My self-worth is stabilized. And I'm now realizing how vulnerable I was to outside influence of other people and sales. And I realized that I was letting my impulses and instincts run my life. And now I'm actually more stable, more fulfilled, and having money work for me today. And I don't feel like a slave. And I was really desperate to find a rich man. And now I'm realizing that I want to enrich myself so the man's not having to have a dependent, but is able to have a partner.
That's a key point. Now, if you know you're under 40, don't wait until you're 40 to realize this. Your eyes open just because the world has told you a big lesson. And this video is especially for those in their 20s. The earlier you learn this, the more you're going to benefit in life. So if you didn't have someone to tell you about this, now you do. Don't just do things to impress people.